Hello students, in today's lecture we will learn wave optics and this is the theory part 1. The topic which we will cover first is wavefront, Huygens principle, coherent sources, interference of light, condition for constructive interference, condition for destructive interference. So these are the topics which we will learn in today's lecture. Disclaimer: the images used in our slide deck are for educational purposes only. We respect the intellectual property rights of the original creators and owners of these images. If you are the owner of any of the images used in this deck and have any concerns or issues, please contact us at sathi@iitk.ac.in and we shall remove the images. So, topic is wave optics. According to Huygens principle, light is a form of energy that travels in the form of wave through a hypothetical medium, and that hypothetical medium known as ether. This medium was supposed to be all pervading, transparent, extremely light, perfectly elastic, and ideal flow. Light waves transmit energy as well as momentum and travel in the free space with a constant speed 3 into 10 raised to the power 8 meter per second. So this is the speed of light in vacuum. However, in a material medium, their speed varies from medium to medium depending on the refractive index of the medium. So speed of light is depending on the refractive index of medium and it varies for different mediums. Next is wavefront. When we drop a small stone on a calm pool of water like this, suppose initially this pool or is calm. So when you drop a small stone at this point, waves spread out from the point of impact. So where the you where the small stone dropped at, so at that point we called point of impact. This point is point of impact, and from this point waves spread out in outward direction. Every point on the surface starts oscillating with time. At any instant, a photograph of the surface would show circular rings on which the disturbance is maximum. So every point on the surface like this point is start oscillating with time, and after at any instant a photograph of this surface would show circular like this. This is a circular rings on which this is a circular rings as shown in this figure on which the disturbance is maximum. Clearly, all points on such a circle are oscillating in phase because they are at same distance from the source, or we can say they are at the same distance from the point of impact. This is the point of impact, or we can say this is the point, this is the source from the waves are spread out. Such locus of points which oscillate in same phase or in phase is called wavefront. And the speed with which the wavefront moves outwards from the source is called speed of wave, and this is the point of impact, and the wavefront moves outwards in this direction from the source. So this is, suppose this is the source and the waves are spread out, moves, or we can say moves outwards and the speed is called speed of wave. Next is, if we have a point source emitting waves uniformly in all directions, then the locus of points which have the same amplitude and vibrate in same phase are spheres, and we have what is known as spherical wavefront. So suppose this is a point source. When waves spread out from this point source, so in that case, the shape of the wavefront should be spherical, or we can say spherical wavefront. And that spherical wavefront, suppose this is the point source, and this is the point source, and the distance from the all oscillating waves from the point sets are same, from this point to this point and this to this. Clear? So there is a two spherical wavefront. First is diverging spherical wavefront. So suppose this is the point source, and the in diverging spherical wavefront, the wavefront spread out outward direction like this. This wavefront are spread out outward direction. Second is converging spherical wavefront. In converging spherical wavefront, the waves converge like this. So this is not easily you can see. At a large distance from the source, suppose the source is at infinity. In that case, uh, a small portion of the sphere can be considered as a plane, and we have what is known as plane wavefront. So this is the representation of plane wavefront when the source at infinity. So there is a two wavefront. First one is spherical wavefront, in that when the source is point source, and second is the plane wavefront when the source at a large distance. So this is the plane wavefront. Next is Huygens principle. According to Huygens principle, each point of the wavefront is source of a secondary disturbance. Suppose this is the wavefront. Suppose this is the first wavefront. This one is the first wavefront. This one. This graph shows the first wavefront. And every point, suppose this point, and this point. Every point in on this wavefront is the source of secondary disturbance. This point is source of secondary disturbance. This point is the source of secondary disturbance. Also, this point is the source of secondary disturbance. And wavelets emanating this secondary disturbance we called wavelets, or we can say small wavefront. So wavelets emanating from these points spread out in all directions. So spread out in all directions like this. So with the speed of the wave, these wavelets emanating from the wavefront are usually referred as a secondary wavelets. So this is the secondary wavelets. And if we draw our common tangent, this is the common tangent. This point, and this point. So this is the common tangent to all these points referred as to secondary wavelets. This one. So we obtain a new position. So this is the new position of a wavefront at later time. So this is the second one more wavefront. So this is the way how the waves spread out from the point of impact. So this is the example of spherical wavefront, and similarly in uh, linear similarly in linear wavefront. So suppose this is the linear source, and at every point each point on the wavefront is a secondary disturbance as from the Huygens principle. So this point is a secondary disturbance. So when you complete this circle, this one, like this one. So this point is the secondary wavefront disturbance. Similarly, this point is also secondary disturbance, and this point is also secondary disturbance. So a common tangent, this one is common tangent to all these points. We obtained a new wavefront at a later time. So this is the spherical wavefront, and this is the linear. Next is coherent sources. Two light sources are said to be coherent if they emit light of exactly same frequency or wavelength, such that the originating phase difference between two waves emitting by them is either zero or remains constant. So suppose there is a two source of light for sodium lamp and denoted by source of light S1 and source of light second denoted by S2. When both the sources are meet at this point, so like this, at this point here, so can both the sources are coherent? No, because they cannot maintain the constant phase difference during the traveling from this point to this point. So there is a condition for the coherent sources. Light sources are said to be coherent if they emit light exactly same frequency. So suppose both are the sodium lamp, so frequency is same, wavelength is same, but the phase different could not constant. So this is the coherent sources. This is the condition for the coherent sources. Next is interference of light. Interference of light is the phenomena of redistribution of light of energy in space when two light waves of same frequency or wavelength emitted by two coherent sources traveling in a given direction superimposed to each other. This phenomena we called interference of light. So in interference of light, two sources, or we can say at a point two waves are superimposed. If A1, suppose A1 and A2 be the amplitudes of two light waves at same frequency and the phi be the phase difference between them. Phi is the phase difference between the both the waves. Then the amplitude of resultant wave is given by this one. So this AR is the represents the amplitude of the resultant wave, which is equal to under root A1 square plus A2 square plus 2A1 A2 cos phi. So this is the resultant wave formula, and this is important for the exams. And in terms of intensity of light, IR is equal to, this is the resultant intensity, is equal to I1 plus I2 plus 2 under root I1 I2 cos phi. So this is resultant amplitude and this is resultant intensity. So from this relation and this relation, this is clear. The intensity is directly proportional to square of the amplitude. So this is the interference of light. Next is condition for constructive interference. So in case of constructive interference, if at some point in space the phase difference between two waves phi equal to 0 degree, phi is the symbol of the phase difference, or we can say phi equal to 2n pi, or path difference between the two waves delta equal to 0, or we can say delta equal to n lambda, where n is the integer then resultant amplitude AR is equal to A1 plus A2. This is the resultant amplitude, and resultant intensity IR is equal to I1 plus I2 plus 2 under root I1 I2 is maximum. So this is the resultant intensity and resultant amplitude in case of constructive interference. In constructive interference, this is the formula for amplitude and resultant intensity. Such an interference is called constructive interference. Suppose there are two waves. So this is first wave, this one, and this is second wave. When both waves are superimposed, when both waves are superimposed, we get a new wave. And the amplitude of this wave is much larger as compared to this wave and this wave. So this is the constructive interference. Second is condition for destructive interference. If at some point in space, the phase difference between two waves phi equal to 2n minus 1 pi, this is the phase difference, this one, or the path difference delta is equal to 2n minus 1 lambda by 2. So this is the delta. Such points, the resultant amplitude AR is equal to A1 minus A2. This one. And resultant intensity is I1 plus I2 minus 2 under root I1 I2 is minimum, leading to destructive interference. So there is a two case. First is constructive interference and second is destructive interference. In the case of constructive interference, resultant amplitude is A1 plus A2 and intensity is I1 plus I2 plus 2 under root I1 I2. And in the case of destructive interference, resultant amplitude is this one and resultant intensity is this. From this diagram, this is clear that suppose there is a two waves, this is the wave first and this is wave second. When both the waves have a different amplitude, the amplitude is this one, and this is crust and this is trough, and this is amplitude is this one and amplitude is this, and this is crust and this is trough. So when both the waves are superimposed at a point, in that case both are opposite, so the resultant wave is cancel out. So this is the condition for destructive interference. And main thing, the first is phase difference, that is phi, and path difference delta, and resultant amplitude this one and intensity is this. Thank you for your attention.